All right, so the final aspect is the edge control. And by blurring the edges of this copy and also blurring the edges of my background hole, I get to here. Now, edges are the one thing you can use focus for, but notice how her face is more in focus than her chest. So how can I mimic that? Basically, I take a duplicate of my background and I Gaussian blur it, take a lot of focus away, like that. I can even use that opportunity to saturate it a little bit more. We brighten it a tiny bit, shift its hue just a tiny bit, right? So now this all looks out of focus, like her chest does. And then with my soft eraser, at just a really low opacity, start revealing some of the in-focus areas from layers underneath. That's creepy. It's like I'm emerging from a puddle or something.
It kind of reminds me of Charmed. And you're like the...
Please say Alyssa Milano. Please say that.
No, it's where Patrick died and then Leo's coming into the light. It's like...
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Jesus Christ.
So, that kind of matches that focus. Now, what would be unreasonable? I can't change my hair to be the color of marble, right? That's not reasonable. So I'm not going to worry about that. But I see kind of all the relationships here. They are starting to make sense, right? And if I really want to do some little spot treatments, I can, on a new layer, I can use, just to finish things up, I can use my clone stamp at a pretty heavy opacity, soft edge, pretty large brush for this project. And I can set it to copy all layers. So whatever I see is what I'll get. So I'll copy it from here, and then I'll, whoops, extend that color. That didn't work the way I wanted it to at all. Let's try this a different way. Let's go to the very top. Let's hold down Option and say Layer, Merge Visible. By holding down Option, it flattens it all onto my final layer. And then I can just make little final adjustments. Like bringing this soft edge color to more so the plaid doesn't look so flat. And again, I'm just painting with the given exposures with a soft-edged retouching tool. And I can use the patch tool, kind of take a big chunk of this. If I want to kind of replace this area, map them together. And just tweak it until it's something I can live with. Oh, I'm at 100% opacity. Let me do more like 55% opacity. Get a little bit more subtle. Start blending these together. If there's shadows I need to bring around, or colors, I can actually do a new layer and switch it to color mode. Select these crazy colors with the dropper tool and basically paint with them like so. But this isn't painting because it's coloring. It's just going to change the color in general. So if I do a really soft brush, that will help equalize out the color from all my different layers in the exposure itself. If I ever feel like I do it too much, because we tend to overdo it when we do this, processing on our own. I just take the opacity of that layer down a little bit. Hit it with a little bit more red. Use a little bit of the blur tool, which takes a long time, but it does make a difference. Kind of soften problematic edges. Last little bit of clone stamping. This is all on a retouch layer at the top. Yeah, I think I can live with this. And I've certainly never tried processing like this before, so it's something we learn from. Just want to blur all of that together. Stupid plaid. Makes you realize all the things you could have done to make it easier for yourself in the exposure, right?
Solid red shirt.
Yep, there you go. Okay. So then at the end of the day, you have your, that looks brighter, doesn't it, that yellow? So now I can go and I can flatten everything again, holding down Option and Layer and Merge Visible. And I've got everything I need in these PSDs. Go ahead and save it. And now I can just optimize it at the very end by taking that top compressed layer. I'm going to give it a little extra saturation. Whoa. Just a little shift of hue. My lightness is just about right on. Maybe adjust the magentas just a touch. Are no magentas? Let's give me some magentas. There we go. And then just switch the saturation of the reds a little bit more towards those pinks. And then brighten them up just a bit. That's the magentas. I'm getting pretty picky here. And then blend those in. Okay, so now let's do it one more time. Now I'm going to save it as a PSD for myself and then as a JPEG, and then I will upload both of these with my sketch. Let's give it as much saturation as possible. All right, so save, file, save as, save it as a JPEG, and then that will all go into the photo bucket. Now, next class, I will do it with the landscape, with the context portrait. So this is a portrait without context, just foreground and background. So next will be that romantic painting. And I won't have to do so much with background replacement, though I will have to fix my formatting a little bit. I like it really small. And that's it.